Stop waiting for the perfect moment. The truth will change your life. Ever found yourself sitting, staring at your ceiling, thinking, I'll start tomorrow. I'll try next week. I just need the right moment. You tell yourself you're waiting for motivation, waiting for clarity, waiting for life to hand you the perfect time. But let me tell you the hard truth. The perfect moment never comes. Ethan was a young man, full of potential, but trapped in a cycle of hesitation. Every day, he'd wake up with ideas, dreams, and ambitions. But every day, those ideas would die quietly in the shadows of his own excuses. He had talent, everyone around him could see it. But talent alone was not enough. He lacked control, discipline, and the courage to act. Mornings became a race against himself. He would lie in bed scrolling through social media, watching other people live the life he imagined for himself, feeling both inspired and defeated at the same time. Tomorrow, he would whisper, tomorrow I'll start. Days turned into weeks, weeks turned into months, and the gap between his dreams and reality grew wider. One rainy afternoon, Ethan found himself wandering aimlessly in a nearby park. The rain was soft, almost calming, falling in rhythmic patterns on the leaves and the pavement. The world seemed alive around him, yet he felt invisible, like a passenger in someone else's life. He saw children running, laughing without fear of the future. He saw birds fluttering freely, moving wherever the wind took them, and he realized life doesn't wait for you to feel ready. Life just moves. Ethan finally understood that waiting for motivation was a trap. It was an illusion that kept him safe but stagnant. He wanted change, but he had been looking for it outside himself instead of inside. He sat on a bench, letting the rain soak his clothes, feeling the chill. That cold reminded him of the warmth he had been denying himself, the warmth of action, the warmth of control. He picked up a small notebook he carried around, something he had ignored for months. In it were ideas, sketches, goals, and dreams. He flipped through the pages and realized every idea was still alive. It wasn't talent that had abandoned him, it was inaction. The first lesson hit him like lightning. Your potential is useless without action. Your talent is meaningless without control. That evening, Ethan returned home determined to change. He didn't know where to start, but he knew that starting anywhere was better than waiting. And that night, for the first time in years, he didn't think about tomorrow. He acted today. It was never easy. Discipline was foreign to him, and old habits fought back with every fiber of his being. He tried waking up early, but his body resisted. He tried focusing on one task, but distractions attacked him relentlessly. Social media, games, even meaningless thoughts about what-ifs and failures. Every night, he questioned himself. Am I really capable? Is this worth the effort? But there was a moment, a turning point, small yet powerful. One morning, Ethan walked to a quiet hilltop near his home. He had no plan, no goal, just a desire to think clearly. The sun was rising, painting the sky in soft oranges and pinks. Ethan looked at the horizon, and in that silence, he heard a truth he couldn't escape. Life will never hand you the perfect moment. If you want change, you must create it. He started noticing the small things, the way consistent small actions built momentum, the way control over his own habits empowered him, the way letting go of fear opened doors he didn't know existed. Ethan began experimenting with routines. He woke up at dawn, wrote down 3 goals every day, and committed to finishing one important task before noon. At first, progress was slow. Frustration returned often, but he learned a new truth. Failure was not a dead end. It was a signpost, a reminder to adjust, to focus, and to persist. He also noticed how motivation arrived not first, but after action. Each step he took gave him energy, clarity, and drive. Waiting had never done that. Waiting had only delayed him. He started journaling every night, recording lessons from the day. He celebrated small wins and forgave himself for mistakes. Control over his time and actions became the fuel for his confidence. Friends began noticing a change. Ethan seemed calmer, sharper, and more present, but only he knew the battle. He fought within himself, the endless internal dialogue, the pull of old habits, and a constant effort to stay disciplined. One day, while walking again to that same hilltop, Ethan realized something remarkable. The landscape hadn't changed, the same trees, the same hills, the same river. But he had. His mind was clearer, his heart steadier, and his purpose sharper. He understood now, control over his actions was the gateway to everything he desired. Talent alone could not save him. Motivation alone could not save him. Only action guided by discipline and focus turned into months. Ethan continued his journey, facing setbacks and triumphs alike. He learned that control was not about being perfect, it was about consistency. He faced distractions daily. Social media, doubt, fatigue, old excuses, yet each time, he returned to the basics, small, meaningful actions. He started sharing his journey with others not as a guru, but as a friend. His story inspired classmates, colleagues, and even strangers. Ethan realized one of life's deepest secrets: motivation is not the spark, action is. Motivation comes after you start. He looked back at the young man who once waited endlessly, scared to act. Paralyzed by the illusion of the perfect moment, that young man was gone, replaced by someone who understood control is power and action is freedom. Now, each morning, he writes his goals, takes immediate steps, and reflects each night. Life is no longer a series of delays, it is a series of conscious choices. And he learned something even more powerful: the world responds to those who act. Opportunities come not to those who wait, but to those who are ready to take responsibility. Ethan's journey teaches us all: stop waiting for the perfect moment, it doesn't exist. You have all the talent you need. Control yourself and you will see results. Start small, stay consistent, and let action build your motivation. Discipline is not a restriction, it is liberation. As the sun sets on another day, Ethan stands on the hilltop again. The wind plays with his hair, the river glistens in the fading light, and the world feels alive. He smiles, knowing that he is no longer waiting. He is creating, growing, and mastering himself. And you can too. If this story inspired you, like, share, and subscribe to Sable Stories for more life-changing motivational tales. Remember, your talent is enough. Now take control.